I think so. Sounds like it. I can hear myself pretty good. Can you all hear us?
There we go. That sounded better.
We have to have
I think so.
viewers.
Sounds like it. I can hear myself pretty good. Well, I can hear myself in a stream on one of the things here. I just don't know which one it is. It's either Facebook or Instagram that we got rocking. So we're rocking and rolling. It's another Friday night episode of Friday Night Shenanigans, and you know, we're gonna get into some stuff tonight. I actually think it's gonna be a fun night. I didn't even come up with it. Actually, I did come up.
No,
with this
you
topic,
did. This was a Tony idea.
which is just be prepared for that. By the way. What's up, Jim? Jim, we always appreciate you joining us, man. Let me go ahead and share the post. If you guys are on waiting until we get rocking, please do us a favor and share the post. Get some more folks in here, have a good conversation.
Aren't you driving, Jason?
He's got it up in the dash. We're good.
That's dedication, Jason. I would like to take this moment in time to talk shit on TikTok. TikTok, you suck. Yeah, Jim, maybe we can send you out another link today. I'm sure you would have some valuable information to add to this.
At least the camera's not on the table anymore, so every time I bang into it.
That's why I mounted it on the wall.
Is it actually mounted now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mounted on the wall.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Because I was tired every time somebody would bump the table, the camera would go like this, and I'm
Every
like,
time
yeah,
somebody
we gotta
would-
fix that.
Did you say every time somebody would nut?
What kind of camera is that? Dude, you're on Jerk,
Hey,
man.
what else are you doing on that camera, Chad?
That's why we're monetized, because Chad Jerkmate accounts linked to Bastard Beer Radio. That's awesome. Dude, you'd be a hero. Are you kidding me? You'd be the only male in the state of history of the United States of America that's monetized on Jerkmate. Like, that'd be amazing. Are you kidding me? What do you do for work? Oh, I sit in front of the camera and beat off.
I'm sure there's a lot of guys available there.
What's going on fishing for dollars?
Yeti Big Bass on Table Rock next week.
Yeah, you've been talking about that for a while, man. I hope you do well out there. Can't wait to see the pictures. Send us some pictures. So tonight we're talking about glide baits.
Beginner glide baits 101.
Yes, that's actually really important that he specified that, because it's interesting that, like, I'm the one that brings this up, because I've been like the anti-glide guy forever.
It's because when Tony goes down the rabbit hole, he goes down the rabbit hole.
You know this specifically.
Especially when Tony doesn't have a boat to go fishing.
Yeah, dude, the rabbit hole's so deep because I haven't had anything
He's filling
else.
the void by buying stuff.
All right, guys,
Yeah,
we're going
that's
to run our
pretty bad.
intro, and then we're getting into this. Let's do it.
Now we should be
No sound.
rocking. Are we rocking now?
We have no sound, says Jim. How
Jim,
about
can you
now,
hear
Jim?
us now? You should probably be able to hear us now.
Jim, can you hear us?
Can you
Any sound?
hear us?
Hear us?
I know how to do this. I can just pull it up on the old Facebook here, and then we'll be able to tell.
That's what I'm talking about. Because I was tired every time somebody would bump the paper.
I got sound. Jason
Okay.
says all
Jason
good.
says all
We're good.
good.
We're rocking.
All right.
Sorry
That's all-
about that. eventually, we've been doing this for about 4 years now. Eventually, we're going to figure this out.
Yeah,
Maybe another 4 years. But we're rocking. We're here. We're going to talk about glide baits. Now, interestingly enough, I'm going to get right. Now, actually, I will say this.
Want to talk about the gunpowder before we get into glide baits?
Yes, but I want to start off with this because I was thinking about this on the way here. We've had this discussion a lot of times, and I've actually I guess because I don't have a boat, and I'm going down the rabbit hole on lots of things, and I'm radicalizing myself on all types of different philosophies and everything with fishing and any kind of thing, right? So I will say this, right? Like we say, time on the water is the king, right? He's king daddy. Like if you spend 300 days a year on the water, you're hard to beat.
Mm-hmm.
Got it, right? I don't necessarily think that is an absolute. And the reason I say that is
it's productive time on the water.
There you go. It's like in the gym, right? And and this is just personal, right? So for years, I've been lifting consistently for 5 years.
Well, you can go to the gym and do bicep curls every day,
right?
And you're not going to get any stronger.
My thing is like for years, I did the Arnold Schwarzenegger, I did the party line, if you will, of lifting. It's like you got to do your sets. No. You got to do your sets. you got to do all the sets. You got to hit all the science. You got to do all this, and it's repetitions, and it's this, and it's concentric movements, and it's like that was great.
Reps to failure, all that fun stuff.
Well, it's funny because I went from doing 5 sets per whatever to 1 set per muscle group, but it's that sets balls out. And it's miserable, and it's like mentally whatever, and then it's assisted when you fail. Your spotter assists you in whatever it is that you're doing. And I'm gonna tell you right now, in the last 5 weeks, I have gained more, like comparatively, than I have in the last 2 years. I've been in a plateau. Like I feel like in the last 2 years, I've hit my max of like what I can lift naturally. Like it's a 500 pound, almost 500 pound squat, a 300 and change bench press, and like a deadlift somewhere in the middle, right? But it's like the accessories weren't gaining, the bench press wasn't gaining, the squat wasn't gaining, the deadlift wasn't gaining.
Can you squat more than you can deadlift?
No, I can deadlift more.
Okay. You said it was somewhere in the middle. I thought you meant like in the middle of your bench and squat.
No, I can actually.
I was like, that's kind of odd.
Yeah, I can. Well, it depends. Sumo or conventional, because that's a difference, right?
Sumo's for pussies.
So I can sumo pull more than I squat. For sure, like a lot more. But conventional, it's just gesundheit. It's just under my squat.
I was gonna crop. Just walk by the crop dusting.
Right.
Hey,
so,
Lloyd. So
but I will say,
so Lloyd signed up for the BFL on the Potomac this weekend.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Weekend?
Yeah, but it's like what I was saying earlier.
Oh
like
God.
Whoa. That was a hell of a draft. But like it's productive time, right?
That was bad.
It does smell pretty awful.
Yeah.
I do have to say, it does smell pretty awful.
Instead of doing 5, 6, 7 sets.
This is a small room.
Yeah. Instead of doing just 5, 6, 7 sets.
He's opening the window.
Like you can do 1 or 2 sets, balls out to failure, and get the same amount of results or more. Because my bench is at 365 pounds right now. I've never been close to that.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, when it comes to lifting, like I don't really think you need to go more than 3 sets.
But back to bass fishing.
But my point is I think that you can spend 300 days a year on the water. If you don't maximize and, like you said, productive time, I think that productive is such a key factor in that, like.
Right, and it's
I don't think that these guys that are going out 300 days a year are just like, going out again. Like I feel like
they're going to different bodies of water. They're going. Right. They're focusing on different types of techniques.
They have a plan.
Different techniques. Exactly. You have to have a plan. You can't just go spend 300 days on the water throwing a chatterbait and expect to get better.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And I think that like I found myself when I thought about, because I thought the same train of thought that you did, Paul. I had the
15 pounds a day, Wood.
I had like this. Because like so many of us, like you go out practicing, it's like, what's your plan for practice? Is there a plan?
Is that a 2-day or a 1-day, Wood?
It should be a 1-day if it's a BFL. If it's not an All-American or a regional, it should just be a 1-day.
Well, they always have the super tournament. I don't know if this was.
I don't think it's a super. It might be. Lloyd, let us know.
If it's 1 day, probably 17.
But it's like I feel like so many people, and like I'm comparing the. Like lifting weights to fishing, but it's like so many people when you lift weights, a lot of people, they want to bench 225 pounds, which is great. Like you're a strong individual if you can do that, regardless of what Instagram or TikTok says. But so many people get to that, and it's like the plan stops.
No, if you can bench 225, you are in it's something like the top 0.01% of people in the world.
Right. But it's like, and I agree. I think that like the guys that are spending, it's a double-edged sword because those guys, yes, they spend all that time on the water, but they also go out every day with a plan.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And
they vary it up. They don't do the same thing all the time. You know, and it's, you know, you have to do that. So one thing that I do when I'm not tournament fishing, and even though I may be fishing I have a stretch of tournaments on the bay, for example. And so I know I'm going to be fishing the bay all the time. I'm going to be fishing Haverty Grace area, Flats area. I try to fish one spot that I have never fished every time I practice.
Right.
At least one spot. Well, you know, there's always places out there. I mean, the flats are huge.
Yeah.
You know, there's places on the flats. There's places on the shoreline that you've never fished. So just go there. If it's 2-day, 15 a day will probably win.
I would think if you can catch 12 pounds a day, you'll be in very good shape. That should be the realistic goal is 11 to 12. And if you do better, that's awesome, man. I hope you do great. I would love to see you win one.
I would say
just get in the top whatever, man. That'd be cool as shit. I hope you do really well.
Jim says, cover water and the water you cover, dissect it, throw in a clock motion, 12 to 12, then back again, move 50 feet and repeat. But that's not necessarily what we're saying, though, Jim. Like, it's more about having a plan and knowing what you need to work on to make yourself a better angler.
Just don't go through the motions.
Angler.
Thanks for that, John and Dan.
It might be that I need to go out and I need to learn, I need to work on my swim jig fishing. And so I'm going to go out and that's all I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a swim jig. And I may only catch 2 fish, but it was a productive day on the water.
Right.
Because I was able to generate 2 bites. And as long as I know what I was doing,
right,
I can then apply that to the next time.
It's so interesting, like, because I've been thinking about this a lot.
It's more about
like my philosophy in weightlifting. It's the same thing. Like,
yeah,
if you wanted to go up on Conowing is a good example, right? Like, because I use it all the time. But like, you could almost equate like today I'm going to train legs to today I'm going to fish grass. I'm going to focus on getting better in this aspect.
I feel
no
like
matter what it takes.
It's more of the lifting less to lift more.
Yeah,
is what I would compare it to.
Yep.
And you're not going out there to catch fish. You might have a day, right? Catch 20, 30 fish. But you're not going out there specifically to catch a shit ton of fish.
Right.
Just like, your normal day in the gym, your working set that day might be 225.
Right.
Like you're going into, comparing it to the gym, you're going into the gym, knowing that I'm not going to lift the most weight that I can. Mm-hmm. Just like you go out on the water, knowing I'm probably not going to catch the most fish that I can, but I'm going to work on this technique. 225. I'm gonna investigate some new areas. I'm gonna learn some rock piles. I'm gonna go scan today. But when you go scan, that teaches you how to use your electronics.
Yeah.
What to look for, especially if you scan and you go, oh, well, this looks good, right. And you go and you fish it. Nah, that doesn't look good. And then you scan a little more and you find a spot. I'm like, oh, well, this looks pretty good. And then you whack them.
Another thing,
Now okay, this is what I want to look for when I'm scanning in other areas. And, because I drug my Carolina rig or my jig across this, like I know how this looks on my side imaging, how it feels now. Like I know what this is now. Like this is a hard spot, or you know what I mean.
Another thing I thought about too is like because we've said it a lot of times, and I don't think it's
Riverboat
wrong.
Rob.
What's up, Riverboat Rob?
I don't think it's wrong, but like we say, time on the water is the deal, right? If time on the water was the deal, bar none, end of discussion, people like Trey McKinney wouldn't be winning tournaments because guys like Rick Clunn, Mark Menendez, and some of the older guys that are still on tour have more time on the water than Trey McKinney's been alive.
Yeah, but
it goes back to production.
But you also have to think too, recent time on the water is better than pastime on the water because
We've
Yes.
talked on the show many times about fishing history.
things
yes,
always change.
Yeah, recent, yes, but I also think that like the intellectual approach to anything, whether and like I'm on my own little fucking philosophical thing right now, but like intellectual approach to weightlifting, intellectual approach to fishing, intellectual approach to whatever. Like
You
I
always
feel
have
like
to
that
have-
matters.
You
know
always
what I
have to
mean?
have some sort of approach like that.
Yeah. So
You can't
yeah,
just blindly go into something and just go do whatever and not have any kind of plan and then expect to do better.
right.
It's that old adage, you can't, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
I find myself doing that all the time. Like, especially last year, this year, not so much because of the boat issues and whatever, but like last year when I was practicing all the time on Conowingo, it wasn't even practice. It was just running spots, seeing where they were. I never actually looked for why they were there, or if they weren't there, where would they maybe be? It was just like, I'm just going to run my 50 waypoints and see where they're at.
So,
And there was no mental involvement.
that-
It was just a
not
ring
saying-
around the rosy of whatever.
and I'm not saying that that's unproductive time on the water, but now, like, if you pay attention and you think about it intellectually and you figure out the why, now when you say you come this year and the conditions are different, let's say the spring's a little colder and everything's a little bit behind, and
Right.
the water was dirty this year, or the water got warmer, now once you can figure out the why, you can analyze that and be like, hey, you know what, they were on this last year one time, but the water temperature was 75 degrees and the wind was blowing from the north, we had good current, so they should be over here.
Right.
It's the dumbest shit since Juneteenth.
That's a comment there.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Rob, back in the hospital. Rob, what the fuck, man?
Blockage in my urinary tract. Ouch.
Oh god.
Well, I hope it's
Sounds
cleared up,
terrible.
man.
Yeah.
Tony will come suck it out for you.
I never said that.
God.
Never said that. But I do know that if you could probably take a Dyson vacuum cleaner to that son bitch and it gets you.
Like old Doofy's like, no.
Yeah.
Tony
Can't be together anymore.
Tony's got a lot of experience with Dyson vacuums.
It's like, okay, this is one more time.
Rob, in all seriousness, man, I hope you're doing all right.
Yeah, Rob, prayers out for you, brother. Hope you're doing good.
So let's talk a little bit about the gunpowder. A couple things.
Yes. Yes.
Couple things.
Let's hit this gunpowder. Let's talk about that, and then let's break into our topic for the night.
I'm going to go use the bathroom, but I'm still listening.
So real quick, I want to talk about the fishing on the gunpowder, and seems to have picked up. I had a tournament there last weekend. I went out the weekend before, the Sunday before. I mean, caught it good. I had 17 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good.
Yeah. Dude, when the gunpowder is on, the gunpowder is on. The gunpowder is a
wasn't like-
fantastic fishery. It's a beautiful fishery.
It wasn't. It didn't have the numbers. I mean, I only caught like 8 fish all day.
It had the size.
But I mean, I was catching. I had one almost 4, a couple 3.5s, a couple 3-pounders, right? It was just solid. Tournament day, I mean, I had 13.5 pounds. Should have had like 15. I dumped a 3-pounder at the boat, but it's just still a good day. If I catch an opportunity to catch 15 pounds down there, I think it's that's a decent day down there. So caught a lot of fish though. I mean, I caught a lot of fish in my tournament. I called 4 times in the last hour. It was pretty wild. It was pretty cool. Once the tide flipped, I mean, water was high, tide flipped, and just like it just started going out, and they started to eat. And I wish we had more time in the tournament because I would have beat their brains out.
I heard there's a lot of grass in the gunpowder. My uncle was out there today. He said, man, there's grass everywhere.
Yeah, there's a lot of grass. It didn't come out.
Your uncle is a fucking legend.
I know.
It didn't come
and
up.
for all the wrong reasons, by the way.
So the grass didn't really come up till August.
Yeah, which
So
was
late in
interesting.
the season.
Yeah, but there's
So
a
late in the
lot of
season.
grass. I mean,
Yeah.
outside the bridge on the left.
It's
there-
still
I
not
mean,
what it's still not what it used to
There's
be.
hydrilla for between a quarter and a half a mile from the bridge, like from the bridge down.
I haven't been over to the Edgewood Proving Ground sides of things, but they used to have that massive grass mat out in front of.
And that hasn't been there for a few years,
Yeah.
but I haven't been over there to look at that. But a lot of hydrilla came up late this year.
Hey, what's up, Jake? Thanks for joining, brother.
There's a lot of hydrilla inside the bridge. However,
It says good afternoon.
in my experience, in the last month or so, there ain't no fish in it.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. Right? Like,
There ain't no fish in it.
I think it's because of seasonal patterns starting, like in the seasonal migration and the
We're
movement of fish.
We're getting to that fall pattern here.
Well, the
You know
night
what I mean?
temperatures, dude.
Water temperature is way down from the summer. We've had cool nights. We've had rain.
I mean, it's down. I wouldn't say it's way
What's
down.
going on, Brian?
But it's shorter.
Thanks for joining.
It's shorter days. It's colder nights. I mean, it's everything that fish need to start like.
Hey, Brian,
reacting.
what's going on?
You know what I mean? Like that's the thing.
I don't think it's because the water temperature hasn't come down that much. I mean, Sunday or Saturday, I mean, it was still high 70s. You know, so I mean, the water's still pretty warm. I think it was like 78 when we got off the water.
Wow, that's pretty warm still.
So,
actually, it's
We've
surprising.
seen it.
I mean,
we've
it's
seen
definitely-
I thought it
like
would not
80
be that
we've seen it be
warm.
like 86, 87 degrees.
Yeah, I mean, it's
sometimes.
definitely warmer than like dead of the summer, but
Yeah.
or definitely cooler than dead of the summer, but yeah, I don't know. It's just been
Yeah, I mean, my favorite time of the year to fish is fall. The thing that I love fishing the fall probably the most because it's gorgeous out, the weather's nice, the fish are active. The only thing that I hate about fishing in the fall is all the leaves floating on top of the water.
so,
Yeah.
so I just wanted to mention that the gunpowder's fishing pretty good.
It's good.
You know, so have at it. You know, for our gunpowder guys that are there. And I also wanted to say,
You might as well get on it before they start dumping a bunch of slop in it.
well, I wanted to
Fuck
say
it all up.
I wanted to say thank you to everyone who did go to the hearing. I'm sorry that I couldn't make it. I was stuck at work.
Likewise.
I didn't get home till it was 7 o'clock by the time I got home.
If you guys can't hear, I'm kind of sick right now. Well, I'm not sick, but I ain't feeling the best.
Oh, great!
Apparently it was apparently it was a packed
Can't afford
house
to get
though.
sick.
We just can't kiss.
Yeah, but you're breathing in this general area.
It sounds like you're on the tail end of whatever it is that you're on anyway.
It's been about a week now.
Oh, you're not contagious anymore. You're good.
Oh, yeah, it should be good.
Yeah. But I do
It's literally just been like a sinus infection. It hasn't been like COVID or some shit.
Yeah. For those of you the guys that did go,
As Jim
appreciate
says,
it.
COVID cooties.
Yeah, I don't
It seems
need no
like it
COVID
was
cooties.
apparently it was standing room only. I know
Hey,
Scott was
Mr.
up
Larry,
there.
thanks for joining. We appreciate you.
Damn it.
I know Scott was
Like
up there.
5 years without getting COVID. I don't want to start now.
I know Scott was up there talking his piece. I think Mr. Theo was up there talking his piece. So hopefully things happen. Apparently there was like a 30-day whatever. They put a 30-day from implementation on so that they could further review whatever. So
There's a couple good articles that were written.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely-
Anna wrote a good article about it. And
seems like it's, you hate to be involved in things like this and then for it to feel like nothing happens. So as long as there's some sort of consideration, as long as there's some sort of like, hey, we hear your concerns and we're actually going to go through the process and make it work, then we're good.
What if
we'll see what
Riverboat
happens.
Rob went live from his hospital bed right now?
That would be
That legendary.
How come I didn't get his message?
I don't know.
Did he
I
send
got
it in the group chat?
He says here's a picture. He's fresh out of surgery.
When did this happen? When
got-
did you get this?
I got your reply to him. But
When did you
I
get
didn't
this message?
Like his message.
He's in a dark hospital room with a bunch of shit hooked up to him right now. Rob, if you go live with us, it would be a legendary thing.
Rob, please do it. That'll be funny as hell. I hope you're feeling better though. All right, so glide baits. We got to talk about this.
So yeah, let's talk about glide baits. Not glide baits. What we're talking about, introductory level glide baits.
Yes.
I want to get in. I want to try some stuff out, but I don't want
The ones that you pass at Dick's Sporting Goods, and
I don't
you
wanna
might
spend
buy
100
one or two of them, and you hang them up on your wall in the garage, because maybe one day you'll use them because they were only $20, but
Right. You don't want to
you
spend.
don't feel the confidence in throwing the glide bait. You feel like it's a waste of your time to go out and throw the glide bait.
You're not trying to be, like putting $1,000 out of pocket to get a few baits and a rod and reel, right? Spend a couple $100 and, test the waters. Dip your toe in. See if you dip your toe in, see if you like it. So we've brought a variety of introductory glide baits because between me and Tony and Chad, apparently we have like everything that's available.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a lot. Quite a few, actually.
Joe
the
says
ABS
the
Tater Hog
looks
does
legit.
look legit. But
Tony
so
said
does...
Tony said it looked like a retarded... retarded...
S-Waver had... Or Draw had
S-Waver
sex
had
with
sex
the
with-
KGB. Something
or,
like that.
yeah, like a Chad.
I
had
don't
sex
know
with
about
it.
the Bass Pro XPS Glide Gem. However, I do know that
Dude,
the
I cannot
ABS
fish...
Buka Trick Shad and the Strike King Tater Hog...
Hogfather Jr.
Is it the Hogfather Jr.?
Straight King
They
Hogfather
look
Jr.
like great baits.
The Bass Pro XPS Glide, I refuse to fish because it's shaped.
It looks like a McDonald's toy.
You know what?
Who said that? That's hilarious.
It looks like a goldfish. Like if you know the crackers, like a goldfish cracker, that's how it's shaped.
Did somebody say it looks... Or did
No,
you
Chad
just come
did.
up with that? That's funny
I
as
just
fuck.
said it.
That's hilarious.
It looks like it's shaped like a goldfish cracker, and that annoys me.
Yeah.
It's Gil from the Goldfish commercial.
Right.
Oh, dude, those were great. All right, so we're going to get into it. We got, in no particular order, we're just going to go over some of the baits. So I'm going to start. This is a bait that I actually really like. I've caught... This is the only glide bait I've caught fish on.
Oh, fishing for dollars has a Baitworks gift card, so he needs some suggestions.
I can't, like...
Well, we're about to give you a
can see
couple
it.
suggestions right now.
This is the Spro Arashi Glide. And this is actually, like... I actually really like this glide.
Wait, the Arashi Glide is from Spro?
Sorry. Storm.
Storm.
My bad.
I was
Storm.
like, that is not a Spro bait.
Sorry, Storm. The Storm Arashi Glide. I actually really like it. You know, for what it is and for the price, I think it's like $40.
30. I think it's $30.
35 to 40, something like that. It's in that range of like that 30 to 40 dollars.
Yeah, 30, 40 bucks.
Yeah.
I've never thrown one of these. This is actually the first time I'm actually holding one in my hand. And, you know, I've put a lot of time on glide baits and stuff like that. This feels like one of the more solid ABS baits.
So I will
when we say
say
ABS, that is
You're molded plastic like a crank.
it's a molded plastic. Yeah, it's, you know, they're machine manufactured. It's a molded plastic.
Two-piece plastic slapped together.
This feels very solid for an ABS bait.
I will say this, like there's a lot of reviews that are negative on this bait, and Paul had a really good point before we got on. Is I feel like a lot of the negative reviews on glide baits are from like core swim bait guys, like the swim bait bros.
I feel like a lot of those negative reviews that you get are people who think their bait is better because it costs $300. They paid $300 for it.
I could see that.
Not that the bait's not
the price makes a bait better.
Right.
However, beating a hard resin bait that's hand poured from somebody is
no, totally agree with you.
It's a different game.
But there is a group of people.
I'll drink it.
I feel like there is a group of people who think the more that you pay for a glide bait, the better it is.
I do think that that's a thing, and that's another thing that we have to talk about with this is like the price of glide baits is what keeps a lot of people out of it, right? Like me personally.
No, I only throw Hinkle shads.
Oh yeah,
like
but
you see those guys all the time.
That's
but like,
bullshit.
But like me personally, like a lot of the reason why I avoided,
I see those guys all the time.
I avoided.
Yes, it's bullshit, but
like
those people exist.
It's bullshit.
I avoided baits
up,
like
Matt
this
Downs?
for so long because I was like, man, I don't want to spend $150 on a fucking bait. But it's like, okay, but now that core group of
Jim says
I'm gonna
false
say
info, big dollars is bullshit.
Yeah. I'm gonna say swim bait bros, and then like no offense or whatever, but it's like it's a perception, right? The swim bait bro community, like to Paul's point, has been spending $300, $400, $500 on baits. Like if I spend $500 on a bait, I don't want a $40 bait to be better because then I feel like an asshole. Like I'm a clown. I spent $500 on shit that's
not
like,
even better, but catch it. You know, you could have a $40 bait that catches just as many fish as that that bait that you spent $500 on.
Right. Right. I definitely think the Arashi is a really good entry level bait, and it has a lot of characteristics of a high dollar bait, right? Like the hooks. You guys probably can't see this, right? But the hooks actually rotate because these baits are heavy. So with this is important because if you hook a fish, this is a lot of weight. This is a lot of leverage. If you hook a big fish and he comes up and they shake it, right? These hooks stay
I agree,
pinned.
Jim. We have one thing that is, not to cut you off, but I want to keep us on topic here when we're talking about beginner baits compared to a bait. This is a standard resin 7-inch trick shad. This is one of Mike Buca's original trick shads here. But one of the things that I do want to state about these baits is there's so many guys that are buying swim baits. They're fucking collectors.
Yeah, they just want to say that they have it.
Items. They just want to say, I have this bait. I have this rare bait that's hard to get. It hangs up on my wall.
Yeah.
It's in pristine condition. There's a lot of guys like that use these glide baits as a flex in the fishing industry.
That's the type of people.
There's guys out there that will post walls, like massive garage walls of swim baits. And that's cool and everything. Don't get me wrong. I love to see it, but out of all those swim baits, they're throwing 4 of them.
You talking shit about Jim?
No, because Jim throws.
You haven't noticed, like
his garage full of freaking swim baits.
Jim definitely throws the swim
stuck
baits,
to
though.
pretty much one brand of swim bait. He's throwing the Mike Buca trick shad. He's throwing anything that is resin poured from Mike Buca. That's what he sticks with. And that's fine.
There was definitely some other stuff hanging on that.
There's guys that chase clout.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're chasing clout.
Whatever the new hype bait is, that's what they're throwing.
Exactly.
I will say this: this is the only glide bait that I've actually caught fish on. I have a trip every fall that I take that is a glide bait trip, and I will say this bait performed really, really well.
That's actually one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite glide baits to throw.
It's simple. The hardware is pretty decent. The features of the bait are good. If you're trying to get into glide baits, I would definitely say give a shot to the Storm Arashi glide. I mean, for what it is, it's not, the entry cost isn't huge. Where if you don't like it, you're not out of home. You're not out.
So
a car payment. It's a decent bait.
Before we're just gonna start spouting off baits that we want to recommend to people who are looking to get into swim bait fishing, I want to talk about some characteristics and some of the differences between this ABS plastic bait and
now that it's hooked in something.
Now that it's hooked in whatever is laying here on the table. And let's say
it's a good point.
One of Mike Buca's trick shads.
Because I don't understand the difference between plastic and resin.
So I mean, plastic bait, ABS plastic, resin bait. So one of the noticeable things that you can tell, like, not saying the paint on this is bad, these paint schemes on these resin baits look a whole lot more realistic. It's being painted on a different type of material. They have completely different swims. A 7-inch ABS trick shad, a plastic molded 6-inch trick shad is going to swim differently than this resin trick shad. Mike Buca has designed these resin ones to be weighted internally. If you want to weight this trick shad, you either have to wrap lead tape around the hooks or you have to use sticky weights like I've actually done on the bottom of this one. You can't really see them, but there's sticky weights on the bottom.
Can you still get a resin trick shad?
Yeah.
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 He does drops like every Friday, which is why I always miss them because I'm sitting here.
Really? So I figured, and this is my ignorance, but I figured since there was an ABS trick shad that was it. Like, that was the trick shad. Now you can't get a resin trick shad anymore.
No, you can. He still completely makes.
So what's a resin trick shad go for now that there's ABS trick shads everywhere?
What is the selling price?
180?
This is probably 180. I would say this is probably 180.
So that's
$200 bait.
That's like right up there with like a depths.
So this is a custom paint.
Okay.
So I believe this one sold for about $200.
But that's like right up there with a depths bait, pretty much.
I haven't looked up prices of what depths are selling at this point.
Okay. I want to say that that would be. I think they're going to be a little more than like a depths 250. Like a depths 250, I think it's like
250 is like
135.
Yeah, like a depths 250. I think
right there,
is like $170.
There's the TK. I did bring that, so we are going to discuss the TK, which is actually. This is an ABS. This is a blow molded plastic bait,
and I would still put it in that intro level because they're not terribly expensive.
What kind of bait is that? I'm sorry, I missed that.
This
is a DRT Tiny Clash.
Yeah.
Okay. How much is that bait?
Depending on where you buy it, it's less than $100.
Yeah. And Scuba Steve is chiming in on my phone here, and he says it's the same thing with KBG. You have the Spro KGB Chad Sad. KGB is still dropping a lot of resin poor Chads.
Actually,
and,
he doesn't call them Chads anymore to separate the two.
Right.
So he started calling them something else, but it's still
the
a similar
same
bait.
bait. Yeah. It's the same bait.
Yeah, Joe said he got a tiny clash, or
But
a clash 9 for 60 chips.
There's differences in the swim. There's differences in the action.
Well, you got to think about the weighting.
There's
too.
differences in the tunability of the bait compared to from an ABS to a resin.
Because if you think about a ABS bait, random ABS bait, like, ow, all this up here is hollow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all your weighting is really at the bottom.
Yes.
Where with a resin bait,
it's solid.
Resin is way heavier. It's solid all the way through. So you have different weighting in the bait, which is going to affect the action, right? It's it's going to give you a different action than something that's hollow that's weighted with tungsten or lead.
So while we're talking on the subject here, I just wanted to touch and say that there is differences between a plastic bait and a resin bait. You will see differences in their swim, things that you can do with them, and tuning differences in the baits. Now, there's fantastic ABS like the Trick Shad, the ABS Trick Shad. This is from Ketchco.
Oops!
Oh dear.
That's the second time you almost closed that.
Classic. It happens.
There's a lot of differences in the baits, but
That's a Spro KGB catch.
that doesn't mean that you won't catch fish on these. One of my favorite baits to throw right now is actually, I love throwing the Spro KGB Chad Shad. It's a fantastic bait. It has a good swim.
I don't know if this will show on the camera, but you can see
your weighting down here in the belly.
Yeah.
Down here near the belly, and the whole top of the bait up through here is hollow, right? So it's a bottom heavy bait where your resin baits are more the weighting is more throughout the bait.
And one of the differences that I can tell you guys from throwing resin poor KGB Chad Shads and the ABS plastic Spro Chad Shads, a resin Chad Shad swims a lot more true than the ABS plastic one. Now, what I've noticed in the ABS plastic ones is they tend to have lift in the head. Mm-hmm. So as you're chopping this bait tends to surface a little easier than the resin, and it tends to nose up when you chop it, which looks a little less natural. So that's one of the massive differences. And what I do with this one doesn't have it because I don't throw this trout pattern a whole lot, but my bone and my yellow perch one, I actually will weight the front of this bait up here near the nose with sticky weights, or I'll wrap lead tape around the hooks to keep it to stay more true when it's swimming instead of nosing up. That's one of the big noticeable difference that I've seen in a resin Chad Shad.
It's funny.
To an ABS plastic Chad Shad.
I've kind of noticed the opposite. I notice it nosing up more when it glides.
Right.
Like when it glide. Well, if you hit it into a hard glide, it'll come up into the side, and then it'll sink, and then it'll come up to the side, and then I can usually keep it deeper if I'm working it faster.
All right, I think I want to move on to the next one here. So this is a super unique bait. I haven't thrown it yet, but I own a number of them. This is the Shimano Arma Joint, and I still got the thing on the tail here, right? But this is a Shimano Arma Joint. Hopefully you guys can see that there. The cool thing about this bait is if you're used to Shimano jerk baits, you probably can't see it. Maybe you can see it flashing just a little bit in the head section.
Flash boost technology.
There is a flash boost on there. Now, the cool thing about this is anybody that's thrown a glide bait more than 10 minutes.
Fantastic comment from Jim. Your line plays a large role in the rise of your bait as well.
Yep.
So braid compared to fluorocarbon.
So when you throw a glide bait, we all see the tumble, right? We've seen it 1,000 times. The Arma joint has a unique feature where it'll actually fold almost 90 degrees, right? So this is supposed to help.
I cannot speak for this bait whatsoever. I've never thrown it. Not to talk shit on it, but it has never piqued my interest.
So this is supposed to help you with the casting. And the interesting thing about this is it has magnets in it. So when the bait hits the water, the magnets, because of neutral force of the water, they're able to bring it back to normal. Now, there's a lot of technology in this bait that's intriguing to me. Whether it works or not will seem to be discovered. But the cool thing is it actually has a hook keeper underneath the bait. So I'm going to try to pull this hook, and you might hear it. So now the hook is dangling perfectly. And what you'll notice is if you pull both hooks, they can foul, right? These hooks can foul, it can grab. So if you find that the hooks foul, there's a little piece of metal in there. You can set both of these hooks back so that they can't foul, and they stay pretty uniform underneath the bait. And what that's supposed to do is it keeps the bait from fouling. I think it's like a 90% that Shimano says that this bait won't foul. Versus now when the fish grabs it, you set the hook, it pulls the hook out. You hear that? It comes right out of the clip there. And then your hook is free rein. Now, it doesn't twist. There's not a pivot point in this, but it does have that, which is an interesting feature.
The Spro has the pivoting,
the rotating
hangers.
I'm going to see if I can do this to where you guys can see it. So give me 1 second.
I feel like that's becoming a standard on most glide baits at this point.
So I'm going to try and do this as best I can. So if you see here, there's a little bit of a paper clip kind of looking thing. It's a piece of metal. But I can pull the hook. You see the hook comes out. And hopefully you can see that. You can actually set the hook back in, and now it has a limited range of motion.
Chad won't admit it, but the best glide he's ever tossed is the donk.
The donk is sick.
But again, that actually keeps the glide from fouling.
The donk, you can't have him back.
$1 million.
Dude, the donk is very sick. That's a fantastic... Is that wooden or resin pour?
It's resin.
Yeah. Resin pour. That's a really, really cool bait that you can work in a lot of different ways.
Yes, fishing for dollars, Spro and striking are a good starter.
Yes.
For a fact, the Spro is. I would assume that the striking is also going to be a good starter bait because much like the Spro, Chad Tater Hog himself worked with striking to make that bait and make it perform the way that it should.
Fishing for dollars. If I'm going to recommend any of these starter baits to you for your fishery, depending on trout or a shad bait fish forage, the Spro KGB Chad Shad would be my number one. It'd be my number one bait.
Sneaky Pete.
I haven't messed with the Sneaky Pete a whole lot, and then I would definitely say I haven't thrown it yet, but I would venture to say that Strike King Tater Hog is a very close second, or almost the same as the Spro Chad Shad.
Right. I mean, I feel like it has to be if when you have a swim bait maker working with a company to make sure that bait performs to their standards, it's probably going to be a good bait.
Yeah.
You know, I would say the same thing about the ABS trick shad, right?
Tater Hog is not going to produce any type of ABS bait that makes the name of Tater Hog look bad.
Right.
They're not going to allow that to happen.
They're not going to put their name on it.
Tater Hog makes fantastic baits, glide baits, swim baits. Tater Hog is... They are a small family company.
Fishing for dollars if you're fishing table rock. You don't need glide baits. All you need is a whopper plopper.
That was the other thing. You made the comment, fishing for dollars. You noticed that Ben left a shit pile of lead thread in the boat. The lead thread is used to weigh down his glide baits if he's trying to reach a certain ROF, which is called your rate of fall in these bigger baits. And that rate of fall he's achieving, obviously he's using his live scope a lot, but he's watching how fast that bait is sinking down to the level that he wants it to be. Because some of these
a lot of times because of live scope, I mean, he's fishing glide baits deep. like brush piles in 20 feet of water, that he's pulling them over. So he's got to weight them down to be able to get them down there at a reasonable amount of time.
And what he's doing is he's taking these baits and he is wrapping lead around the shank, like the longer part of the trebles. He's wrapping lead tape around them or lead wire.
Lead wire. If you watch his videos when he's fishing like the draw, and watch how much lead wire he has wrapped around the just look at the hook, and it's just like. I mean, he has got a lot of lead wrapped around that.
This is truly one of those rabbit hole things that you can talk about all night, because the swim bait thing is very intriguing to a lot of people. It's a very addictive way to fish if you have the patience to get into fishing that way. And there are so many different ways to tune and utilize these baits. Now, it's one of them things as well where, like, you might not get bit on this bait every day, but even in a tournament situation, pre-fishing, this bait can be used very well to
find
this
fish.
Is a search bait. What I'm going to call a search bait, what a lot of people refer to as a search bait. You'll have so many bass follow this bait right back to the boat. They don't hit it, they don't eat it, but they follow it. And then you see these fish and you say, okay, I know there's fish here. They followed this bait back to the boat. Now, live scope in a way, kind of, you can do that with live scope. But if you don't have live scope, if your live scope's not dialed to the point of having that bottom separation, these baits can pull those fish off the bottom and show you. They can reveal themselves to you through throwing a larger bait.
I'll give you a scenario where this is better. So on a clear water lake that I've fished quite a few times, a very clear water lake that I've fished quite a few tournaments on, I use glide bait in practice to fish docks. Because they won't eat it, and I know they won't eat it, but it'll pull every fish out from under that dock.
Are we allowed to say the fishery?
No.
Okay, fair enough. Because I know it.
So I'll throw it around docks in a clear water fishery, shallow docks. That live scope, you're not going to be able to see the fish that are underneath that dock. Like it's pointless. But I can throw a glide bait in the slip, run it down the edge of a floating dock, and it'll pull. You'll watch fish come out off the dock and follow it. Yeah. So I know. Boop, mark. There's this dock. Go to the next one, no fish. Okay, move to the next one. Boop, 2 or 3 fish followed out. Mark. And I never have to hook a fish to know that there's fish on that dock. Which is an advantage over just trying to use live scope to do that, because I'm talking about docks that are maybe in
2 feet of water.
Yeah, a foot at the back, like at the walkway. You might have a foot of water back there to 3 feet out on the end of it.
And I've seen it so many times, even fishing local waters around here, waters that the guys around here say that throwing a glide bait is pointless. A glide bait is a clear water thing because I can see it from so far away. The presence of this bait.
I mean, they move a lot of water.
They move a lot of water. They have a huge presence. They move erratically in a way that fish are not used to. And they will show themselves to you.
Fishing for dollars, I use 20 pounds of lure.
Yeah, 20 is pretty universal, I think.
Jim uses 85-pound braid.
So let's move on to the next bait for a second. I've actually never opened this one. This is a bait from G-Rat.
He said I only looked at his videos to see the damage he did to my boat.
This is a bait from G-Rat. So G-Rat lures are on Tackle Warehouse. You can get them. It's called the Sneaky Pete. The Sneaky Pete. The small version of this is called the Pistol Pete. Pretty good looking glide bait.
Jim, that information's coming from people that have never thrown a glide bait in their freaking life.
So some cool features. Facts. It does have the rotating hook mounts here. So
it's basically a standard now.
The swim bait of choice of Steve Kennedy, who is a big time swim bait fisherman on the Elite Series.
Cool thing about the Sneaky Pete is the tails are removable and you can get replacements. You can get replacements for the S waiver, I understand. Not that you would ever need them. You can get replacements for the Arashi. The Shimano comes with a replacement, but you cannot order additional replacements.
Arashis come with replacements too.
Yes, yeah. But the Shimano armor joint...
I got a hole.
That's awesome. So the Shimano armor joint does not it comes with a replacement, but you can't order additional ones. So if you go through your second replacement, you just need to get another bait, which is really stupid, actually.
You can't order them?
No, not that I found.
Interesting.
Perhaps I'm wrong. I've heard that G-Rat baits make really good baits. The color selections are actually really good. You can see, well, you guys probably can't see, but there's some internal weight system going on with this bait. Just a really good looking bait.
I like how it's got a little, like the internal weight system's a little loose. You get a little rattle in there.
I was actually going to say, you can see this, how it's pretty
knock.
loose. You get some knocking going on.
There's two big balls in the front.
Yeah, right?
Balls.
Yeah. Well, but this is just one of the colors. I have, I think, 4 or 5 of these, and all the colors of these baits actually look really good. I think this bait sells for it's less than $40. I think it's 30 to 35. So pretty good bait, pretty average or pretty above average components.
Jim says you got Timo for tails.
For the Shimano? I hope so. Jim, show me a link. But you got some good features, right? You got the swing hook joints. You got the replaceable tails. This is a pretty decent bait. I mean, I think, and now that Chad's back, I think the consensus around G-Rat baits is actually pretty high. A lot of people think that they're pretty decent baits for what they are. Check this out.
Look at it. Got some good knock in there.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like that.
They also make a 5-inch bait called a Sneaky Pete. It's no different. The design is the same. It's just scaled down to 5.
Especially like 30 or
pretty cool
like
bait.
in our dirty water, you get a little sound in there along with that. I like that.
Let's take a pause for a second, and because you brought up a really good point, Paul, let's talk about the rods you would throw these baits on.
Man, and one thing I do have to say, when we're talking about glide baits here, rod selection is very key in glide bait. You don't want to throw a broom pole, but you can't throw anything too light either.
Want to have
the stiffness
I like a little tip. Just a tip.
The stiffness or the flex. Watch your face there. The stiffness or the flex in one of these rods is very important. If you have a rod that is too stiff, you just like a jerk bait, just like a crankbait. These are treble hook baits. You don't want anything too stiff. You'll end up ripping it right out of their mouth. You got to be able to play the fish. But you also don't want a rod that's too soft, because these baits create a lot of drag when they're in the water. They're heavy baits. So you have to be able to throw them long cast, cover water, and
I'm trying to figure out, not to cut you off, Chad, but I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this. Why do we go from cork to foam?
Because it looks cool.
And it's a wow.
Oh, wow.
Kind of like a comfort thing.
I hate when she does that. Just kidding. I love it when she does that.
Do you have those in the freezer?
Yeah, but they're not.
You should probably take them out now. It's just a comfort for casting thing. Because, you're gripping and ripping,
What's that? Looks like a 7.9 something.
7.10.
7.10. Okay. So it's
7.10
interesting.
heavy, fast action.
There's another good. So Dobbins has a deal with Mike Bucco, and Mike Bucco's been a really solid and very prominent figure in swim bait fishing, right? The Bucco bullshad rod that's sold by Dobbins, they have an 835, which I own, and an 836. Now, getting into the difference in between those rods, so I think St. Croix is the same. Whereas an 835 means an 8'3" rod, so St. Croix in inches.
Here comes Jim.
So St. Croix is 7'10". The model. So,
but what I mean is, what's the model of that rod?
The model is VTC 710HF. So
okay, so it's the same as Dobbins in that.
Victory casting 7'10" heavy fast.
So certain rods instead of the Dobbins 835 means 8'3", 5 power, medium heavy.
83 inches.
Right. So that's the difference.
83 inches, 6 power. His
8'3" 6 power.
Yeah.
Whatever
What's up, Jeff?
No, it's 83 inches, 6 power.
Not Dobbins. Dobbins is 8'3", 6 power.
He's explaining Dobbins, I believe.
Whereas I
8 foot
think
3. Okay,
I
sorry.
think Cashin.
What is it? They're one of them is in inches. I think. Oh, you know what? It's Powell. Powell is in inches.
Powell is. I think Cashin is as
Yeah.
well. And it's really weird because if you don't know, you're just like, what the fuck does this mean?
Yeah, so
yeah,
you
it's
see
very
them,
strange.
you know, and it's like you'll see like a, like a show an 8 foot rod, 8 times 12, 90.
Yeah, why do I have to do math? Like
Right,
that's
96.
my thing. It's like, why do I have to do math if I'm buying a
So
fucking Powell
so the
rod?
so the model is like like SBC 964. So it's a 96-inch 4-power rod.
And you're like, what the fuck is 96 inches? Yeah, no, I get it.
But as I was saying before, my beer exploded and I had to walk out. And as Jim has stated in the comments, you don't want to overpower your rod for glide baits.
Because they can get heavy.
Yeah.
They're a heavier bait. They create more drag, but they're also a treble hook bait. So you want to have give. You want to be able to fight your fish.
Well, he's not.
And-
Didn't he say you don't want to overpower your rod with a heavy bait?
You need the rod to have a certain stiffness to it, but it needs to have give because they also don't work. They don't glide. They don't glide the same way. They don't glide the way that you want them to glide if you have too much bend in your rod or if they're too stiff.
Yeah, and that can really come into play, like when you're working your bait with your rod versus working a reel. Especially if you've got too much give and you're trying to work a bait with your rod, you got to think like when you're twitching that half your twitch is rod bend. If it's too soft.
Yes.
Versus on the flip side, if it's too stiff, you're jerking the bait too much versus twitching the bait.
It's taken some time to narrow down what I like for throwing my glide baits, and most of the glide baits I throw are 6 to 7 inches. On my 6-inch baits, I'm actually throwing, it's an iRod Genesis 2. It is actually a medium heavy, moderate fast. It is 7'8" moderate fast action.
Dude, iRod's interesting. One of those companies I literally knew nothing about. I've never heard of them until you told
Great
me
rods. Great rods.
I don't know anything
Good
about
price point. You get a good swim bait rod. They make things specifically. Now, when I say it's a medium heavy, this is a medium heavy swim bait rod. This isn't your conventional pole. This is a medium heavy swim bait rod. And to me, it works best for my 5-6-inch glide baits. I will throw 7-inch on it, but most of the time when I do go up to 7-inch, I go to my Leviathan rod, which throws up to like 8 ounces or something like that.
Can you give me that trick shed real quick? Further. By the Xbox controller. Yeah, there you go. So we're going to open up the next bait here. And again, for those of you that just joined, we're talking about like beginner glide baits. They're not expensive. You can throw them on whatever you got, right? Like if you have a 7'6" medium heavy jig rod, you can throw these glide baits on them. It's not ideal, but you can do it. Right.
Tonight's topic, we're kind of all over the place. It's really hard to stay centered on one thing and then move to the next because there's so many different points in these glide baits.
It's just a lot of variables.
It's a lot of variables. Man, our entire point tonight is to get you guys to feel comfortable.
Right.
And give you guys some confidence to pick up some of these baits and throw them.
So
they're at a decent price point, they work, and I just want to say to myself, one of the things that's really gotten me hooked to throwing swim baits or glide baits is, man, it's the rush you get when, like, yes, there's times you will go out and you will never get a bite on one of these things, and you could have thrown a spinnerbait and you might have caught freaking 15. But when you get a bite on one of these glide baits, I don't care who you are, what you're doing, or how much you've fished in your whole life, you will get a different dopamine rush off getting hit off of this bait, specifically because there's always the way that my brain is wired for the swim bait fishing, you never know what's on the other end of that freaking line.
I feel like
It could be an absolute fucking giant. It could be a bass the size of the glide bait. It's one of them things.
I feel like my most of my bites and this is one of the reasons that I think glide bait bites are cool. Most of my bites that I get on glide baits are I can see.
Right.
So it's all it's like it's like top water, right?
Yeah.
Where you can see that fish come out and just boom.
You know that bait
Or
is
you're watching
to
it, or you're watching it follow it,
Yeah.
you know, and like it starts darting at your bait.
The amount of times I've thrown a glide bait over top of a laydown and twitched it a few times and then just seen a bass come up and freaking roll on it is awesome. One of my favorite ones on Scuba Steve, if you're still watching, we just talked about this the other day. I was throwing a mag draft, 6-inch mag draft, through some grass back in the GP. And I got nailed. Bam! Hit it, but he grabbed the tail. And I missed the fish. And I was like, all right, I don't know if he's going to hit this again, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a glide bait out there over top of the grass. And I'm going to work it right over top of the same exact section of grass. I threw I believe it was a KGB Chad Shad. A Spro KGB Chad Shad. Right over top of the same thing, and I twitched it. Chop, 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 chop. Right over top of it. Same exact fish came up in the same area and nailed that glide bait.
Yeah.
Came back, and it was I'm not saying it was a giant, but it was a good 4-pound largemouth.
And anytime you get that visual bite where you can see it, it's exciting.
Oh, we watched him. I watched this fish roll on this bait.
That's awesome.
And hit that bait.
That's such a that's such a different, like, don't get me wrong.
It's a different bite.
I throw a jig all the time. You know that. Like, I love fishing a jig. That is my favorite, one of my favorite baits to throw, like right behind a buzzbait. I love catching fish on a jig, and I love feeling that thump. But there's just something about baits where you can watch them eat it.
Yes.
That just hits your brain differently.
Now, to me, just for the fishing that we do around here, some of you guys live in different areas. You guys are fishing different bodies of water. We fish very shallow around here. So a lot of the times I'm fishing these baits in a 1 to 2 feet area. I'm using this bait in a very shallow spot. So those fish come up and they hit that bait in a very shallow area. Now, sometimes, like we talked about earlier, Ben Milliken is weighing these baits to fish them in 20 feet of water over top of laydowns. It's different, but it's the same.
I will say that
the draw of the bait, the visuality of the bait. He can throw that bait down there. He can watch it on live scope and watch it pull 5 or 6 bass off the freaking tree.
And that is why I love fishing with live scope so much, because it's very similar to like watching them follow a glide bait or
it's
watching
visual.
them hit top
It's a
water
visual.
or chase a frog or something like that. It's that visual, like, oh my god, like I'm watching him follow my glide bait, right? And the same feeling. You're like, come on, you're doing what you need to do to make him hit.
How many times can you watch a guy throw a jig or throw a glide bait over top of a laydown? It'll pull 5 or 6 fish off of that tree, and they'll be like, there's a 12-pounder following that right now. Like, they know off watching the live scope, because they're so dialed, like, how big of a fish is following.
Yeah, I know bait. There's a 10. There's a 10. Like one of these fish is 10 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just from staring at the screen, knowing what you're looking at. But the crazy part is with this bait is like the drawing power that it has and the ability for these fish. They may eat it, they may not, but you have to figure out what they like and what they want. And
the retrieve and like the
so many different retrieves,
so
many different ways to.
And I guess you could say that about any bait. Really. I mean, you can say that about a spinner bait. Retrieve, size, blades. There's so many variables in a spinner bait. It's not like, you can take a chartreuse spinner bait and it's going to catch fish every day, right?
Yeah.
Chartreuse double willow is not going to catch fish every day.
If you're gonna pick a glide bait, if you have no experience with a glide bait and you just want to dabble, this is it. No. The S-Waver 160.
Steve says that
they're the deal though. Like they definitely work.
I do remember this, but I caught that fish out of that grass on that. Well, it was an OG Chad Shad. It was not ABS. It was an OG Chad Shad. And I caught 2 4 to 5 pound fish in about a 15-minute increment of time, throwing those baits where I was throwing them.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. So, Jim, like I've always talked about, like for the typical fisherman who likes to go out and catch fish, there's a time and a place for every bait, and there are going to be situations where a glide bait works, and in order to figure out those situations, you have to go throw it, and don't let you can't let the size, intimidate you. But you have to go out and throw it to be able to learn what your prime conditions for throwing that is. Just like we go out and we throw a spinnerbait and figure out what our prime conditions for throwing a spinnerbait is, or when should we throw a jig, or when should we throw, a creature bait. It's all the same. There's situations for everything.
Yeah.
Unless you just truly like fishing them. But for the average person that is just going out to catch fish or is going out to tournament fish, you have to. It goes back to what we talked about earlier with productive time on the water. You have to go out and you figure out those situations to be able to throw that bait and know when you get into that tournament, I need to be throwing. I should throw a glide bait, or I should try a glide bait because these conditions match up and fit. Whatever they might be.
That's a good point, Jim. People will throw an 8, 10-inch, 12-inch worm. They'll feel confident in that, but they won't pick up a 6-inch glide bait.
That's true, but I can take a 12-inch worm and put it in my hand like this. So I think that's where
that is not what it looks like when it's on the bottom of the river, though.
Right, but thinking about a fish eating it, right? A fish's mouth is about the size of your fist.
What's crazy to me is you have hook and about 2 inches of that worm, and you have another 10 inches back behind it. And
you know why? They almost always eat the bait head first.
Yeah.
Still wild to me.
Yeah.
That's why I drop shot.
Like, why not come up on it and slurp it from the back like a piece of spaghetti?
His was better than mine.
But yeah, like if you we don't have any random soft plastics here, but I think the reason, if you just think about it logically, if you take a glide bait, like if my hand is a fish's mouth, like you got 2 inches of overhang here, right? Mm-hmm. Versus a 10-inch worm that you can crumble up a 10-inch worm to the size of a quarter.
Fishing for dollars. What is your bait forage?
It's shad. He's
shad?
Table rock, yeah.
KGB, the Spro KGB shad. Pick up one of them in a color that you like. I personally like throwing bone. I'm a huge bone color
Very
person.
clear water there.
Very
generally.
Okay, so
maybe like
you could really go with any
the
of
thread
the
fin. This is thread fin. This is a nice little shad color.
Yeah.
Very natural.
I would say the Spro KGB shad. I would say the Mike Buca, the Ketchco trick. This is if I was gonna buy one of these baits, which I will, I just haven't yet.
The ABS trick shad.
The ABS trick shad.
Nice little bait, 6 inches.
That's a killer bait, dude.
$40.
Comes with a replacement tail.
Yeah, comes with a secondary replacement tail. Absolutely killer. So we're Spro KGB shad. The Mike Buca.
Oh yeah, it does.
Ketchco trick shad. And then let's see.
What about this guy?
Here, have an extra, Tony.
Oh, thank you.
Since mine broke.
I appreciate it.
This is one of the
OGs.
not the originals, but this is one of the OG. This is one of the OG like plastic molded baits. This is one of the S waivers. They have great clear watercolors. They have fantastic clear watercolors. So, like I said, Spro KGB shad, Buca brand trick shad.
Who makes them? Who makes them, Joe? Or Jim? Is it just GSM that makes them?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. Like,
what does GSM stand for?
If I could give you another one, I'm gonna give you a third recommendation, but I'm gonna give you a third recommendation on a slightly higher end bait recommendation. This is slightly higher end. I can't remember what I paid for this bait.
They're not cheap. They're like $120, I think. I want to say they're
for this one.
Yeah.
For the small one.
The Eco.
What about bait
I can't
sanity?
remember what I paid for it. This is the Clutch Eco. This is a 5.5 or a 6-inch glide bait from Clutch. And this is a fantastic bait that I just...
They're $95.
$95.
So in between what me and you said.
Yeah. So, Spro KGB Chad, Buca brand Trick Shad, and I want to give you one higher end that isn't breaking that $100 mark, and I would say this Clutch Eco.
And it's
Clutch
a small bait too.
It's very small. Clutch makes a fantastic bait. It's great. Works very well. This doesn't sink very fast. It runs very shallow, and it chops very hard. This doesn't have wide glides. This is a fantastic chopping bait. Throw it up over top of some laydowns. This is a very good bait.
He's fished, so to let you know what he's fishing, he's going to be fishing around a lot of docks.
That would be fantastic.
Deeper docks, though.
Oh.
Their docks are deep out there. A lot of fishing around dock cables, stuff like that. And table rock docks are deeper. I mean, you can have docks in 30 feet of water. Mm-hmm. So shallow is not necessarily important, but I could see it being...
Ooh, Scuba Steve hit me up with a fantastic option. The Jackall Gantrel or the Gantrel Jr. And I will recommend this bait because I have seen them work and I have seen them get hammered.
Is it really a glide bait, though?
Yes.
They're triple jointed.
It is.
Double jointed.
It is, but it glides.
Well, I guess, any multi-jointed swim bait can glide, I guess.
I could definitely say the Jackall Gantrel or the Gantrel Jr. is another fantastic option at a beginner price point that would...
And it
would get you bit. It's a fantastic bait. Great for around docks, too.
I've
personally seen 5-pounders come off docks to eat the Gantrel Jr.
Oh, I've
seen it.
I know they catch fish.
Yeah.
For sure. I would probably recommend the Chad, like your Chad, that Straight King Hogfather Jr. If I'm just going for like less than $50 baits, the Chad, that new Straight King Hogfather Jr. If you can find one of those, and then the ABS Trick Shad would be my 3. That would be my 3 recommendations. And I'm not going to recommend a higher end bait because I just don't throw them.
Who's joining?
I did talk to Jim about fishing a certain bait since I finally fished it. And
Rob, we are sending you a link right now.
There it is, Jim. There it is.
So I feel like we kind of skipped over the S-Waver a little bit. Is the S-Waver legit, or is it just a piece of shit?
The S-Waver is a good bait. The S-Waver is a good bait.
I just think
it's not my go-to choice because of the shad forage that we have, and it's more of a trout.
I also feel like it's harder to work than some of the other baits that are out there.
It has a good glide.
I struggle with it. Like anything other than a straight reel, it definitely has an inconsistent pattern or an inconsistent action, which irritates me. Because I've thrown it a decent bit. It's annoying actually. I feel like the draw has a more consistent bait. You know, another thing, and we didn't bring it, but I actually can't stand it, the Nessie. I feel like the Nessie fucking sucks.
John Cox loves the Nessie and throws it incessantly.
Really?
So I haven't thrown too many of these soft plastic glides because I bought Scuba Steve. You're watching. What are those soft plastic glides that I bought? They're Raid baits. They're Raid Okasama swimmers.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to talk about Raid baits on this channel? I hope not.
Don't talk about your bait on it.
Right.
But there is different soft plastic glide baits out there, and I haven't put a lot of time into them, but in the little bit of time that I did put into one of the Raid glide baits that is a soft plastic, I had a very hard time getting it to work properly.
Yeah, Joe, like you said, they yes, they've caught more and bigger fish than any bait, but it's hard to have confidence in something when it swims like shit.
We're talking about the S-Waver again, right? Yeah. All right.
I do the S-Waver 200. It's a good glide,
and I have a feeling that the S-Waver 200 probably swims better than the 168.
The 168
it
sucks, man. Like because it's such a fucking
I have
pain
noticed
in the ass.
The smaller the swim bait, the harder it is to
trying to get the
sensible bait.
168 to do fucking anything is just a chore, and it's like that's why I bought the 168 and I tried it, and it was just like what the fuck, like this sucks. I got the Arashi and I was like, man, this is great. The draw was kind of somewhere in the middle, but the Arashi is so much more user friendly compared to the other two. Like the Arashi's very user friendly. The draw is up there. The fucking S Waver just like, it's just like to get it to consistently swim or to chop, it's just fucking not existent.
Well, it's not going to chop.
Well, the 168 will not chop. Like period.
S Wavers are not made to chop. They're glide baits. They are glide baits.
Yeah, but it's like
you can tell that like look. We talked about this earlier, but just hold the bait like this and look at the angle. Yeah. The more angle you have, the more it'll chop.
Yeah.
The less angle, the more it's going to glide.
Yeah.
So when you take like, you look at something like that versus something like this. It's a vast difference on.
So, for people like me that aren't experienced glide bait fishermen, like the chop. Tell me about the chop. Is it a rod motion? Is it a reel motion?
Reel.
Different.
Why is it different?
You're going to get a different action out of a rod motion than you are going to out of a reel motion.
Okay, so what's the difference? Why?
I will use my rod to create a wider glide motion, and I will use my reel to chop the joint quite a lot. And the joint in the bait specifically, like a V joint versus a flat joint, like Jim is saying, will also make something different. So
I'm going to send you a picture now.
I will lightly twitch my rod to create a wider thing where if you hit it harder and faster, it does this. Where if you do it slower, you give yourself a wider, slower glide.
Yeah, and it carries off that momentum. And if you're doing it with your rod, you have that slack in the line to allow it to glide out farther. Yes. Whereas you're doing it with when you're hitting it with the reel, you're taking up that slack.
Yes.
So it can't go off to the side as much.
When you see me get into like an active fish zone, or even just out of just doing it normally, man, I'll throw it out there and I'll just chop. I'll do quarter turns or half turn reel motions.
And just
to chop my bait back and forth. Where if I want to run it slowly, I'll either do like a half turn and then stop. And then a half turn and then stop. Or I'll do a very light twitch and then I'll stop.
So like Jim said, and that's something that I found with fishing this bait, is it's almost impossible to chop this with the reel. You have to work it like a jerk bait.
Right. Yep.
Like, and that's that that tap reel, taking up the slack, just like you're fishing, like you're fishing a jerk bait for smallmouth, essentially. Where you're whack, 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 right? And it just goes toot. I mean, it's awesome. But if you try to do that with the reel, like it just doesn't work. Like you can get like 1 to 2 chops on it, and then it's like it's just like fucked up.
Right.
Rob sent you that link on Facebook Messenger on my personal profile.
I do think we definitely covered some pretty decent like entry level glide baits that somebody who's is interested in dabbling in the topic can get into and not break the bank. I mean, like I don't know, like a Hinkle's a fucking name. I hear you guys talk about it all the time. What's a Hinkle glide bait cost?
$900 to $1,000.
Who the fuck buys that?
People that want clout.
Yeah, but like, do you actually throw that?
Or
though?
Ben Milliken.
But do you actually throw that?
People who want clout. People who want clout and Ben Milliken.
Who buys a $900 bait and is like, yeah, I'll tie that on the end of some fucking string and throw it out there?
This is a 5-inch
trick shed.
5-inch trick shed.
That's an OG trick shed. This is a resin bait from Mike himself.
What's the most expensive glide bait you own, Chad?
Probably this trick shad. I think I paid $200, maybe a little bit more than $200 for this trick shad.
You would throw that though, right?
He has.
Oh, I've thrown it a lot.
Okay. Do you have any baits that you would just not throw?
No. I do have some original. This isn't a glide bait. This is a big topwater bait. But I have some.
your lunker punker?
I have some original 8-inch lunker punkers downstairs, wooden lunker punkers, and some custom paint that I don't know what they would sell for right now, but I would imagine they would probably sell for $300 some.
Can we throw them?
I would throw them.
For
See, I will say that, like, at least you would actually throw your baits. Like,
I mean,
somebody spends
they're top water.
$900.
We'll just throw them on 60-pound braid and not worry about anything.
Like somebody that spends $900.
I have a topwater rat. I have a sneaky rat.
I think the crappy looking one, the crappy one, right?
No, that's the nice one that has like the wooden grain polish in it. It has that wood grain look in it. It's called a sneaky rat. That's also very sought on the internet. They go for a lot of money as well.
So, like, I want to know, like, somebody that buys a bait. Oh, Rob's on, by the way. Somebody that buys a bait that's over $400. Like,
Rob,
why would you throw that?
Why would you throw what?
Why would you throw a bait that you pay over $400 or $500?
I feel like it's stupid to buy a bait for $400 or $500 and just hang it on your wall for decoration.
Right.
It's just stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like,
So Milliken throws a Hinkle shad because he has the confidence that he has caught absolute giants on a Hinkle shad. And it's a profile that is not commonly found. It's a very large gizzard shad profile. Like, it's big.
are we pulling in Rob?
What glide and what rat are you talking about, Joe? I totally believe it, depending on what it is and when it was made.
$1,500 for a fucking glide bait?
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, dude.
That is ridiculous, though.
The Roman made mother or something of that nature.
We lost Rob.
Rob, come back.
Rob, no, we lost Rob.
It's smart for people who are thinking about glide bait should buy affordable baits to make sure they want to do it, even if it sucks. You can decide if you want to get into bigger baits because it's not for the weary. Don't go big money on baits at first. Better off buying better gear.
Rob's back.
Right.
We're bringing Rob in.
We're bringing our buddy Riverboat Rob in. He's sitting in the hospital. He just had surgery. We want to hear how he's doing and give him a little pickup. So everybody, bring on Riverboat Rob.
Dude, Rob, what's up, brother?
Rob, we can't hear you. I don't know what I just changed, but definitely.
Rob, can you hear us?
Looks like his signal's not very good.
Yeah, his signal isn't very
signal
good.
looks good. Signal looks good.
Rob, we cannot hear you, brother.
Rob, turn your microphone on if you can. He's like,
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it looks like you're muted, man. I hope you can figure it out because we would love to hear from you. But it looks like you're muted. Hold on. Hit the nurse button. Nurses can figure it out.
Hit the nurse button. Get the nurses in there.
Yeah,
to figure it
dude,
out
hit the nurse button. Come on, man.
Like, I can't figure out how to go live on Pass and Beer Radio right now.
Oh my God, they'll totally figure it out. He's got the remote.
He's
and
gonna hit
everything.
the button.
He did. Hell yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking about.
My man.
Rob, so it sounds like you can hear us. We can't hear you. You just got to tell the nurse. Wait, let's wait till the nurse shows up. Then we can, articulate what we're trying to go for here. Rob, give us a thumbs up. Are you feeling better? Good.
Rob says he's on morphine right now. I'm sure he's feeling great.
Well, I hope you're feeling better, brother. We miss you over here. Oh, we lost him.
Oh, lost him.
Damn it.
Hang on.
Damn it.
Here.
A second one, please.
Yep.
Hopefully the nurse comes and squares Rob away, and we'll get to hear from him in the hospital. I didn't know. None of us knew Rob was in the hospital, which is somewhat jarring because he's supposed to be here on Friday nights, but he's in the hospital. So that kind of sucks because Rob's our buddy. Thank you. Matt Down says Rob looks like he's on the good stuff. I'm sure he is on the good stuff. Rob's back. Let's try to bring Rob back in. See if we can get him back.
Roberto.
Any better? Can you hear us now?
He can hear us. We just can't hear him.
Damn it. We can see Rob, but we can't hear Rob.
Your wiener's about to explode.
Jesus.
And he froze up. Come on. Gotta get you connected to that hospital Wi-Fi or something.
I know, right? Where's the nurse button when you need it? I know we saw him hit the nurse button.
Oh, he's all wrapped up in his freaking IV cords and shit.
Fisher for $1 said he missed the line size recommendation for Glidebaits. 20-pound test, pretty universal, right?
20-pound fluorocarbon.
I will say 17-pound red label is like almost unbreakable.
Or if you want to, you could go with like a 60-pound braid. But if you're fishing clear water, I would recommend a fluorocarbon.
Can you even break red label? Yes. Like, it's so hard to do.
I used to, so depending on the knot you tie, I used to pop polymer knots with a jig all the time.
I have, like, for me to break red label is like damn near impossible. Remember that time I got that crankbait hung up and you had the fucking poker stick or whatever? I couldn't break it. I was like, son of a bitch. And that was like a 12-pound test. I know. It's like,
why we're talking about it, because we're talking about line, I can't strongly recommend enough. Fishing for $1, somebody that's just getting into this. It is important to retie your line when you are throwing glide baits. It is very, very important. Nobody wants to cut it off. Nobody wants to retie your line. I understand that.
Rob, hold on a second. I'm sorry. Rob, it looks like there's a nurse in there. Have her ask you to turn off your mute. Because we cannot hear you. Please.
Why is she going to turn it off?
Because she's probably 20 years old and understands how phones work.
Rob understands how his phone works.
But it's... All right.
Hi.
Thank you for helping our friend. We love our friend Rob, and we appreciate you for helping. How are you? This is taking quite a time.
Thank you for taking care of our friend Rob.
Yes, please. Honestly, thank you for taking care of Rob. We really appreciate it. If you can help Rob get his phone off of mute, that would be great. Because we cannot hear our friend Rob, and it looks like he's just laying there in the hospital gown, but we can't hear him, and it's very unfortunate.
It should look like a little microphone, and then you just hit the button.
I don't know. I'm sure she's probably really smart. It's probably something technologically stupid. Joe says this is amazing. This is amazing.
These are only things that happen on Bass and Beer Radio.
Yeah, no, it is.
But we might not have the most views, but I will say this is the best fishing podcast on the internet.
I cannot stress enough that if you're helping our friend Rob, we really appreciate it. I know that like Rob's probably a great patient, but a lot of your patients probably hit you and yell at you, and we appreciate what you do.
I gotta address a comment because this is a beginner show, Jim, and we can't recommend Tatsu for beginners because it's $50 a freaking spool.
I've never even bought Tatsu. It's kind of wild.
I use it for leaders sometimes.
I use Invisex.
Chad, send me a link, and I'm going to see if I can log on and see if there's something stupid, and maybe we can help Rob out. Rob, we can't hear you, brother. I'm sorry, but I'm glad that you gave us a thumbs up. You're doing better.
He's gone.
Your nurse is helping you out. That's what we're here about.
And
oh, hold on. Rob's calling me. We got Rob. We just don't have Rob's face. Rob, I got you on speakerphone. How you feeling, man?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. Dude, we hear you, brother. How you doing?
Pretty good. Wait till you hear this story, man. I had 3 liters of fluid in my bladder that they couldn't get out.
3 liters? That's over the size of a Pepsi bottle.
Yeah, it's a 2 liter and a half. So was in extreme pain. So they're going to give me a catheter, right? Everybody's nightmare.
Yeah, right.
They suck. I've had one.
They couldn't. Okay, well, look, they couldn't get through the first time with the catheter. My prostate, my old man prostate, they couldn't get through. So,
Nah, Rob, it's because you got a big dick.
Oh, God damn it.
Catheter wasn't long enough.
They pull the catheter out, all his blood start coming up.
Oh, shit.
So they go get what they call the catheter whisper. Right, she's supposed to be really good at giving them. She tries. Meanwhile, if you ever had one, it's insane pain. Right? So that didn't work. So then they went and got her balls. He tried, that didn't work. Then he sent the camera up there, just like the catheter. Finally, they gave up, dude. They had to take me to surgery. They cut a little hole in my stomach and hooked it right into my bladder, a catheter, and just bypassed all my junk and everything. And it drained out into a thing. So it's been a heck of a day. I wish I could get the link working. I'm not sure.
Only after they snaked your junk freaking 8 times.
Holy shit. They had a Milwaukee drill in there, dude.
Was it like one of them industrial snakes, you know, that are like gas powered?
They had somebody that looks like Chad show up, but like, I can fix that for you.
Had to call in.
Hits the crank, you know what I mean? He's like just rocking.
Had to call in Roto-Rooter.
Yeah,
It seems like what happened today, dude. So it's just been a day to say the least, man. So then I get out of surgery and recovery, and I get to my room and I'm chilling. My wife, she just left, so I put on Bass and Bear. I was like, shit, it's Bass and Bear time. Put it on there. I said, I wonder if I can call in and let them guys know what's going on and tell them this crazy story, man. So they gave me morphine, Valium, everything to help with the pain after like the second catheter. None of it helped, dude. It had nothing to do. Like I felt every sharp freaking time they tried to push it out.
You needed something dilaudid.
It was brutal. And then when they do the camera, they like stick one in and they're shooting like liquid in there, like water or something, to like wash it down, the blood and stuff out the way, so they can see with the camera. So you just, it's like you got it stuck up your junk and skip the car wash.
Skip the car wash. Jesus.
Camera, dude. It's like, oh man. I know, right? I got a room number. I'll send it to y'all later. Maybe stop up tomorrow or something.
Hey, what hospital are you at, Rob?
Franklin Square.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I think I'm in this. Well, I don't know. I might have some hair. Might come up here, put me out of my misery. So I don't know if I want to say my room number. But I don't care. I think it's 6120. I think my room number. I'll text it to you guys later.
All right.
But today's been quite the adventure.
I bet.
Hey, I'm glad you still have a sense of humor, man. That gets you through a lot. Just being able to laugh about this
I ain't got no
stupid shit.
dignity left. But I got a sense of humor. Once it started bleeding and catheters wasn't working, like, you know, there's a lot of nurses and stuff in there, and I'm just crying and naked and waiting. It don't get more embarrassing than it got today.
Let me ask you this, and only because you're willing to laugh about it. Would you rather the nurses be hot or not hot?
No, definitely hot.
Dude, that's hilarious. What a hammer. Hey, man. Hey, look, buddy. Speedy recovery to you, and we're glad you feel better, and I'm very glad you still have your sense of humor.
Best LGBTQ hospital around.
Very, very glad you still have your sense of humor, man. And, like, look, it sucks, and it's embarrassing, but it is what it is, dude. Like, you got to get through it. You rock and roll, and before you know it, you'll be out fucking fishing again and beating the shit out of the rest of us in the fucking Thursday nighters, right?
Dude, when they got the tube through my stomach and I finally got relief, it felt so great, dude. Because to be honest, with the over a 2 liter of liquid in my bladder, it hurt worse than a catheter, dude. Like it was like
Yeah, your bladder was like ready to burst, dude.
Yeah, and then you nothing's coming out. So it's like, you know it's gonna be serious when you're like, okay, try to do a catheter. You know what I mean?
Right, when you're asking for a catheter.
Right. Yeah, when you're like, I don't know. They're like,
Shove this tube up my penis and let's get this over with.
you know you're in pain when you're to that point.
Yo, so I've had a catheter and they put it in when I was asleep in for surgery, but I was wide awake when they pulled it out.
I was wide awake.
Oh, yeah, I was.
4 different times.
I wasn't awake when they put it in, but I was definitely awake when they put it out.
I choose.
It felt like
death.
It felt like somebody was pulling my wiener off.
I screamed
choose
like a
death,
schoolgirl
dude.
when they pulled my catheter out, dude. So she
I
looks at
choose
me and she's
death.
like, "It's time to remove your catheter." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Y'all gonna put me asleep?" She's like, "No, we're just gonna pull it out." I was like, "Dude." So she goes on the count of 3, and she goes 1, and she just pulls it out of my penis, dude. It felt like my wiener was on fire, dude.
Oh my God.
That disturbs my soul. Hearing that disturbs my fucking soul.
And then you can't pee like.
Day long, they was trying to get one in and pulling it back out. She's trying to get it in. It was terrible, dude.
Oh God, dude!
And
I
after-
can't believe you went through that.
After they take it out, it takes like 5 hours before you can piss again.
Bro, that fucking irritates my soul. Like, my skin just left my body hearing that whole interaction.
And so,
God damn it.
Because they couldn't get through, so they had
gets
to
worse.
go through my stomach. I have a catheter in, but they kind of bypass my manly parts, basically. It goes from the bladder straight to, it doesn't have to go through my prostate or anything like that.
Jim said it looked like they were
Just
starting a
comes out.
chainsaw with your wiener.
This is hurting my head.
But they fucked me, Chad, worse than that, because I was like, "Do you give me any kind of pain?" First, I asked, "Can you put me to sleep?" They was like, "No, we need to do it, but we'll give you some pain medicine." And it was like,
They give you a couple Tylenol.
Yeah, right. Here's an Advil.
No. So this is what happened. So they was like, "All right, we're gonna numb it up." They didn't tell me they stick it up there to numb it up.
No, it gets worse. Fuck!
So I was like, and then I was like, this was the first time.
Tony, you're so young.
I was like, that hurt. So I can imagine what I was doing for.
Tony has missed out on so many fun life experiences.
No, this is not a fun fucking life experience. Game over, dude.
It's gonna happen eventually.
If I ever get a catheter, I want the nurse to fucking put a 45 to my head, M1911, and pull the fucking trigger. Game over. I don't want this shit.
They
It's
could just
not
put
that
you. They
bad.
could just, okay, it's pretty bad, but they
It
could just put you
sucks.
to sleep.
No, dude, they can put me to sleep permanently. Fuck that.
They want to put me to sleep. I did ask, and can you imagine, like, okay, I'll get the catheter, and then things go wrong, and they keep trying, they keep pulling it out, and trying other people to get it through, and sending a camera looking for a passage to get it through. Can you imagine that? Because that's what I went through today.
They put a snake camera up your dick hole to see if it was open or closed.
Are you fucking
Ugh.
kidding me?
I
would jump off the
I
Empire
gotta be
State
100%
Building
honest
3
for
times.
anybody listening and all that. With as much fluid that was on my bladder that I couldn't get out, if I didn't get any kind of relief, I was going to. At that, it hurt so bad. I would have took something and stabbed it in my own stomach and started draining it out. You know what I mean?
Damn, dude.
So, it takes a lot of pain to be like, I guess I'm gonna have to let them do it, but I mean, I needed that relief. You know what I mean? So.
Trust me.
But instead, of course, only with me, they're like, we're going to have to do a catheter. I was like, I don't want a catheter. And then it doesn't work. And they keep trying.
From my experience, Tony, the feeling of relief is worth it.
No, just shoot me in the face.
Fine.
Let me ask this, Rob. Now that you've shared this painful story,
Very visually
very
painful
sorry
story.
that you had
And
to
horribly
endure
personal.
This. I'm very sorry you had to endure this. If you had to pick a glide bait, an entry level glide bait, what would it be?
I like the Chad Shad.
Really?
Chad Shad. It's a shroom Chad Shad, ain't it?
Yep.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm going to get a glide bait. And like, to be honest, I don't know very much about glide baits. You guys know that. And it had that like a bone color with a black tail. I was like, man, that looks pretty slick. And I think I reached out to Chad, like, is that a good glide bait? He was like, yeah, dude, that's a good glide bait. But if I was on a budget and like S waiver, probably a S waiver. But
Fair
I
enough.
like pro chat show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. That's a
Sprota's making it now, ain't it?
yeah, Spro. Yep.
And but the S waiver is like the cheapest bet. You can get a good glide bait, a decent, entry level glide bait for pretty cheap. Just to try it out. Is that? Would you say so?
You get that Shine Glide too.
Yeah.
That's pretty cheap.
We didn't talk about that one yet.
Yeah, because we didn't have one in front of us.
I have one. I didn't bring it.
I want to go buy like a real expensive glide without trying to see if you like it.
Get a KGB Chad Shad or whatever they call it now, or get one of Mike Buca's trick shads.
Yeah, I would say the Buka trick shad.
And what's the somebody else just hooked up with like with a major manufacturer?
That would be Tater Hog.
What's that guy's name?
Tater Hog.
I don't know what his name is, but he's hooked up with Strike King.
Tater Hog. His name's Tater Hog. That's his nickname anyway.
You gotta watch. Well, not now because I need to watch Bassett Bear Radio, but you gotta check out. I guess it was the episode from like 2 weeks ago. One with Brian Velvick. I think it's called "Who's Your Bass Fishing Heroes?" Bass After Dark. It's a good episode, man. It's a real good episode. So,
Byron's cool. I like watching him.
he tells
I love listening to him. He's got the best stories. He's got the best stories.
He's got his own show now too, which Paul probably knows, I'm sure. It's what the hell's the name of his show? It's made by Livingston Lures promotes it, and then he has guests on there. He's the host. He's had Rick Clow on there, Ken Duke, and all that. But yeah, he's got some wild stories because he was like on The Bachelor.
He was the Bachelor.
It's like a whole dating show. Like he won.
Yeah, you remember the show The Bachelor?
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Byron Velvick was the original Bachelor. He was an elite series fisherman.
That's hilarious.
They said don't
Girls
take
don't like people that hold up fish in their profile.
Right.
He was so funny. Yeah, he was. He had a wild. His younger years were a little wild.
And he rode with Ski Breeze, and they was like, they rode around with Ski Breeze's van when they both were getting really started. They were from California, they were buddies, and they was like, Brian Velvick, because he has no filter, and he's like, yeah, we got a lot of females. We told a lot of females coming into that van. Don't ever cut on an ultraviolet light in the back of Ski Breeze's van.
Yeah, he definitely had some wild.
Back in the day, dude.
I mean, he almost got kicked out of Bassmasters for slapping some dude in the face in the parking lot.
I believe he did get banned. He went up in the back, but he slapped somebody in the face in the parking lot for taking his spot.
Well, I think as the story went, like he had words with the person, and then the person said something disrespectful, and he just slapped him in the face.
It was one of those deals, Paul, where it was his co-angler the day before,
Yes.
and they went to his spot.
And then he said something stupid. And he said something stupid in the parking lot, and Byron just slapped him in the face.
Yeah, yeah.
Just bitch slapped him.
Showed up, and the co-anglers with a different motor, and I told him about Brian's.
Yeah, it took him.
spot.
Yeah, that's right. Co-angler took him. Yep. Yeah, that's.
He actually.
That's what I would do fishing for dollars. Chad Shad, Trick Shad, and a Strike King Tater Hog.
Bitch slap your co-angler from the
Yeah.
previous day.
You
That
could.
would be the go-to, right, Chad?
Is it Miles?
And all jokes aside, I'm Miles's co-angler, so I can't even talk shit.
I ain't bitch slapping Tony.
No, he's on freaking.
He's on roids and shit. He's
Hey,
on.
listen, fellas, I'm going to get some rest, and
Take-
I know you guys can't see me and all, but thanks for letting me call and hear the story. Riverboat Rob will be back.
Take care of yourself,
Good
Rob.
to talk to you, Rob. Glad you're doing better. Keep
Hope
us
you're
in.
feeling better, brother.
Keep us in the
All
loop.
right, man.
Yep.
All right. Y'all have a good show, man. I'm going to continue watching.
You too,
All right,
man.
Rob.
All right, man. See ya.
I wonder
love
if
that,
like
dude.
Rob's wiener is swelled up to the size of like a cantaloupe.
So, all right. Let me say this because Rob
looks like a tuna can down there.
because Rob shared an embarrassing story. I'm going to share my own embarrassing story, just in solidarity with Rob. All right?
So Tony's never gotten a catheter, but he put himself up his wiener for fun.
So let's go back to 2017. All right.
I shoved a pencil up my dick hole.
Field training exercise, March 2020.
You let another
March
dude shove their wiener
2017.
up your wiener.
So March 2017, I'm in.
Training exercise is a bunch of dudes.
I'm in Fort Pickett, Virginia. And we're doing all this fucking shit, right? And part of it was we had to camouflage ourselves.
Oh, that's hard, Patrick. That's a little mean right there.
Yes, that is correct.
Fix your mic.
So we're doing this like
Damn, I thought I seen him on OnlyFans.
we're doing this training exercise. I don't remember we were either doing a ambush or it was either an ambush or a defense. Long story short, it required myself and my squad to be completely camouflaged 100%. So what does that mean? That means I'm picking foliage off of whatever's around me and I'm stuffing it in my uniform. I'm making myself look like a bush.
Exactly where this is going already.
I'm taking foliage and I'm grabbing off branches. I'm putting it in my belt.
Oh, you got chiggers on your dick, didn't you?
I got poison oak on my dick.
That's not... I don't know if that's better or worse than chiggers on my dick.
So, this whole thing happens. Next day, or sorry, we go through the lane. We do our shooting. We whatever. So I go to sleep that night. No problem. Next morning, I wake up. It's 3 a.m.
And your dick's all swollen up.
I can't see it because it's dark, and I'm like, "Holy shit, this is fucking uncomfortable."
Like, who was that girl the other night?
Like, what is happening right now? So I go take a piss. I can't see. It's dark. And I'm like, oh, this hurts. Oh, this hurts. So, whatever. We had a 6-mile ruck march that morning. So that whole day, I'm going to point this. So,
and you got your junk rubbing around and pulling
ruck march. I'm in uniform with a rucksack, a rifle, helmet, all this shit. And I'm marching like this. Because as soon as your shit touches any sort of clothing, it's like fucking fire. Like it just fucking boom. So we do the 6 miles. I'm suffering. I'm fucking suffering. We do the 6 miles. We pull off, right? The platoon goes into this fucking swamp area. And we're all spread out doing our patrol base. Everyone's everyone's looking down their rifle. They're mapping out the surroundings.
Tony takes this time to look at his penis.
So I go to take a piss. And at that point, I whip it out. And I'm like, ah! Oh my God, this is not good. Twice the width of a beer can. Twice the width of a beer can.
Wow.
Not even funny. Not like God, cool, yeah, right. Not even like Beavis and Butt. Like cool. It was like
What's up, Josh?
Oh, I might not
Josh,
make
you
it.
missed the glide bait talk. We're now talking about Tony getting poison oak on his giblets.
Johnson. So this happens. I go back to the center of the patrol base and I go to the cadre, who are like the instructors of this whole thing. And I'm like, hey, dude,
Like, I need to go to medical.
I got a problem. I'm in bad shape. And he's like, well, what is going on? I said, well, I just went to take a pee and
My wiener is twice the size it should
I'm dying. This is not
My
good.
wiener is like a double tuna can right now.
So he laughs. He's like, you know what he said? He was laughing. He goes, have you been to Radford recently? I'm like, no, I haven't, but if you want to see it. So he's like, well, it's all dudes, right? So it's like, okay, I got you. It's all dudes. So
It is getting weird. It is definitely getting weird, Matt. You're not wrong whatsoever.
I'm sorry. This is just like, you got to understand military humor for a second. So it's all dudes, and he's like, all right, man, just show me what's going on. Like, he's like, look, I get it. You're suffering. I'm going to be cool about this. Like, just show me. And he's like, he kind of has a grin on him. Like, he's like,
I want to see
kind of
this.
funny, right? And then I show him, and he's like, oh my God, you're in pain, aren't you? I'm like, yes, I'm in pain. So I get sent back to the fucking the medics. The medics are like, let me see it. Holy shit. So they then send me back to post hospital. And of course, when I get back there, a good looking nurse is like, holy fuck. So this is now the third round of people that are like, this is funny. And then they see and they're like, oh, this is not funny. This is not funny. The best part about this is terrible. I'm probably gonna get fired in my job for saying this. The worst part of this is I'm in the hospital for over a week, actually, like legitimately over a week. And my roommate, after I think the third day. Now, keep in mind, this is after we get back. I have dealt with this for 2 days before I get to the hospital. So it was a total of about 9-10 days.
That's what humping camels does to your dick.
So I get back, and like on day 4, I'm in the hospital. My roommate comes to me, and my roommate's God bless him, he's bringing me all my books so I can study and I can keep up with my work in the hospital. And he's like, I heard some rumors. Like, is it that bad? I'm like, yeah, dude, it's pretty bad, bro. He's like, can I see it? I'm like, yeah, if you want to. Like, it's, you know, like you were bros, so it's like whatever. And he's like, and then and he's like, I wish I wouldn't have seen that. I'm like, yeah, me too, dude. I gotta see it every day. And my nurse is hot, so it sucks. Because my nurse is like
yelling.
Oh, dude, it sucked. I was like, God damn it. Very bad.
All homo.
Very bad.
No homo. It's all homo.
You've had a bad story. I can tell you, one time I was at work, I had it on my body, and I went to go take a pee, and I got it on myself.
Poison oak?
It's different between poison oak and poison ivy.
Yeah.
I recognize that. And then the other one was actually a chemical problem.
Ooh. Ouch.
See,
So the second one, I was washing condensers with, what's it called? I'm just brain farting what's it called? Well, you don't use a pressure washer, but you use New Bright.
Okay.
New Bright is like this chemical that you spray on like your air conditioner, which is acidic or whatever, and it eats the dirt off your condenser coils. Well, I had it on my hands.
And you went to take a wee.
And I went to go take a wee, and then I put that chemical on my wee.
And bad things happened.
And it felt like my wee was on fire.
Are we still talking about fishing?
Like,
Like, damn.
I only have 2 bad things that have ever happened to my junk. One,
I took off work both of those days, by the way. I had to get put on steroids for the poison ivy.
One, I was hunting.
Duck hunting?
You used to hunt?
Deer hunting. Yeah. All the time.
Okay.
Nice.
So I was deer hunting. Came home. I was out in the morning. Came home. It was early fall bow hunting. Come home. I get in the shower. And like I'm washing my junk, and I feel something, and I look down, and I have a tick on my nutsack.
Yeah, that's bad.
I mean, that's a good warm spot in between the sack and the shaft.
Yeah, that's exactly right where it was, like right at the base of the shaft. Right?
Where they go. Like it really is.
It's not the only time I've had a tick on my nuts.
Damn it, Jim.
Dude,
I had to beat
ticks
Jim to
are
it.
like really bad in that spot too, man.
And then the other time was I did this freaking wing challenge in Bedford, PA.
The Batwing Challenge?
No, it was eating wings, right?
Yeah.
And it's the only time that I've ever, it always burns when you take a poop after you eat something hot.
It couldn't have been as bad as what we did here. That was terrible.
These wings were so hot. That night it burned when I peed. It was like fire coming out of my wiener.
That wig challenge here was fun though.
It was not good.
That was fun.
You know I puked after you guys left.
You told me that. I didn't know that until the next day.
I didn't do the last one, but I did up to the second to last one.
I did all of them second up to the last, and when you guys left, I came back inside and vomited.
That sucks. That sucked. I can tell you.
Honeybee sting to the shaft and jewels at the same time.
Who said that? How do you do that?
That is way, way worse than.
How does that happen?
Wait, what happens?
He got stung by a honeybee on his sack.
How?
How?
Were you teabagging the nest? Like,
Apparently, he was trying to find out if honey made good lube or something.
That's incredible. How do you do that?
It doesn't.
Like, what? How does that happen? I want to know how this happens.
I mean, he saw a hole and
But
stuck it
like,
in there.
but like,
or
what?
something, I guess.
I just like.
I just want to go out on a limb and say that I am not against creating a separate podcast to talk about life stories and things that happen. Because
Patrick said send him a link.
we could talk.
I want to hear
you
this.
know what?
Story.
I'm gonna send him a link.
How the fuck do you do this? Like, sorry, we're after 9 o'clock now, so whatever happens. But like,
Patrick, it's coming from my account, Chad Phipps.
how do you do? Like, I'm
You're on Facebook.
Very curious.
I mean, maybe it flew up his shorts or something.
But two though, at the same time.
I mean, if he disturbed a nest.
But like, how did you disturb said nest? Like, this is very interesting, right?
I may have to open it on a different web browser. It doesn't always work on certain web browsers.
Yeah, if you're opening it from your phone, it does not work on the Facebook browser.
It might for you, but you might have to copy and paste it and then open it in Google or.
I live in
something of that
Missouri.
nature.
Plenty of tick stories here.
Oh, dude, the Lone Star tick in the Midwest is not to be fucked with.
We should have Fishing for Dollars
We have
come
those
on
here.
and talk to us. Oh,
Not
God,
as
here
much
we go.
though. Not as much.
I got one in Joppatown.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this. Patrick, can you hear us?
We can't hear
We
him.
can't hear you.
Hold on. We can't hear you.
This makes me think it's on our side because
could be on our side.
we couldn't hear Rob. We can't hear Patrick. Go
Volume's
to
coming
the.
in.
We can hear him on the thing here. Hang on.
Hold on.
We're playing with this so we can figure this out, Pat.
Should be system output.
Oh, check the road.
Yeah,
Yeah, but what about it?
is the
We're not getting anything from the system.
is that any better?
I don't know. Did you close our Streamlabs?
No, Streamlabs isn't closed yet.
Yeah, we're not. For some reason, we're not getting any sound through our inputs.
Patrick says he can hear us, but we can't hear him. Any better? Can you hear us now?
No, he can hear us. He could hear us. We can't hear him.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Go to Streamlabs for a second, Chad. Or
Let me
Road.
pull
I'm
up
sorry.
Road real quick.
Just exit out of that and then re-add it. See if that works. Any better?
No.
Damn it. Why is this doing this?
It's got to be something in the
Yeah.
actual.
We would have to freaking restart the entire system and do everything, and it would probably work, but it ain't working right now.
Boo.
Damn it. That sucks.
We really wanted to hear that story.
Yeah, I did too.
Patrick,
That's
save that
unfortunate.
story for next week.
Hey Pat, we'll bring you in next week. We can't. We'll definitely hear it. Sorry about that, man. We're technical nonsense here. Oh wait, hold on. He's calling in. We're gonna hear the story audio wise. Here we go. I can't wait for this. This will be good.
Why does it keep failing every time he calls me?
Call him back.
Is that gonna work?
Yeah, we hear you now, brother. Go ahead.
All right, we hear you. I don't need to be on the stream face or whatever.
Well, you're
Well, we just want to hear
you're
the story.
so hot with your biker beard. We wanted to see you.
Yeah, I'm glad you called it a beard because my wife thinks it's lack thereof. Fucker, so. So which story are we gonna go first? You want the tick story or the bee story?
The bee
The bee
story.
story,
How did
for
that
sure.
happen?
So I work for I used to work full time for a honeybee farm. I do it part time. I'm still doing it now.
That explains a lot,
But,
actually.
They have about 600 to 800 hives, 16 to 20 yards, and we're working bees, and fucking, you're out in the yard. I mean, we're working 14 to 16-hour days. You gotta fucking piss. So I was working live, whatever, tied it up. Yeah. Tied it up, did my thing, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a piss before I start the next hive. Well, I go over 20, 30 feet away from the hive and proceed to use the bathroom, and got stung right in the testicles, and I was like, oh no, and right as I bent over to cover myself, right in the tip of the Johnson.
Oh, no.
Oh, damn it.
Yep.
Oh.
There's a skeeter on my Peter, flick it off.
The sad part about that is that's not the first time it's happened.
Oh my God.
That is terrible.
That's awesome.
It's happened two to three times.
So why have you not just walked another 50 yards away from the hive when doing a number one?
50 yards? You know how far that is?
It's half a football field.
Right? Exactly.
It's like 150 feet or something, 160 feet.
150 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, honestly, some hives you can walk a foot away and they won't bother you. And some hives, you can walk 50 yards and they'll come fuck with you.
So did you ever, like, what did you do to piss off the bees? Like, was there a reason, or was it just like they decided that day they were just going to wreck your life?
This is going to sound super hippie. I'm not going to lie to you. But the bees feel your energy. And I said it was going to be super hippie.
Hippie.
Feel your energy, man.
They feel your energy, and if you're not focused on them and how you're dealing with them, if you're thinking about, hey, I'm going to go drinking after this, or what we're doing after this, they're going to sense that. So, I believe this time I'm talking about specifically was a Friday, and we had plans, so I wasn't fully engaged on the bees. I was just doing what I had to do instead of paying attention to them. So they felt that energy, and they said, we're going to give it back to you.
So what's the tick story? Because you can't possibly top that one.
So, no, I can't. Well, maybe. So, I came home from a day of working the bees and had a tick on my nutsack.
It happens. Been there.
Does happen. Yeah.
I felt I was comfortable enough to get the tick off, but I was like, it's my nutsack. My wife was my girlfriend at the time. Let's have my girlfriend take it off.
Does she have a medical background at all? Is she like a nurse or something, or like a technician?
I feel like we're going to that's like some Howard Stern shit you're asking.
But it like
Kind of. I mean, she does have some type of medical background, but not like she's not a nurse or anything.
Was she laughing when the incident occurred? Was she giggling under her breath when this happened?
No.
I don't think many people have
When I
extracting
told-
ticks from your nutsack experience.
When I told her I had a tick on my nuts, she laughed. But then when I told her, "Hey, I need your help," she was serious.
Okay, good for her. That's a
the
good
thing
wife.
is-
Good for you, man.
Not my
The
wife.
best way to get a tick off is you need to get something hot to put on the tick so it releases its mouth, so its head doesn't burrow into your body, right?
Well, I mean, alcohol works too, but
Yeah,
This is uncomfortable.
it seems a lot safer than something hot.
This is where this story's going. So I proceeded to get the butter knife hot. Got the other butter knife hot. I was like, hey, press these two butter knives together on the tick. She was like, okay, no problem. I can do that.
And
Oh, God.
then she branded your nuts.
Exactly. She proceeded to put the bottom butter knife right on the belly of the tick, which was perfect, and then the other one over the head onto my sack, and then my nuts anymore. But good God, I have a brand.
So, and let me guess. Let me just complete this story. You yelled at her because you were in serious pain, and she then took offense to that.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it. So then she got mad at you for yelling at her, but in reality, you were being branded on the most sensitive area of all mankind.
And the worst part about it is I definitely could have done it myself, but I was like, it's a sensitive spot. Let me get somebody that has both eyes that can focus in on the target. Never again. Never again.
What kind of tick was it? Was it a deer tick, or was it like a Rocky Mountain tick, or a Lone Star tick?
It was a dog tick.
Yeah.
Ah, you hate to see it.
Yeah.
So the worst part about that being a dog tick is if eventually the tick would have dropped off, and you would have probably had no issues. But because you were proactive, and because you asked for help, you were rewarded with pain.
Fuck a tick. There's two things I will not put up in this world: ticks and leeches.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Yeah,
of
we
leeches.
don't have leeches in this neck of the woods, do we?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do we really?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten a leech yet.
Look at.
There's leeches all over.
Yeah,
You'll see
a lot of you are married or dating one of them.
Yeah. No, that's a succubus.
So where can one get a leech? Because now I'm curious. I didn't know.
Conowingo, Deer Creek.
Really?
Yeah. Look at the
they're
smallmouth.
out here.
Pay attention to the smallmouth you're catching Conowingo. You'll see them on the tails.
I thought they were lampreys.
No, they're like
Lampreys, no, they're leeches.
they're small. They're small. Lampreys are big.
Isn't
lampreys
that
are
like a
this
fucking
big.
ocean fish or something?
No,
Like,
no, they get lamprey. You have lampreys in Deep Creek, and you'll see them in like Deer Creek and stuff in the spring because they come up the creeks to spawn. But yes, they're mostly like an ocean thing.
That's foul, dude. There's so many things on this episode that I just wish I would have never heard.
But yeah, so I fuck with bees. So I'll get with Chad. I'll get you guys some honey.
hell yeah. I'm
Hell
down.
yeah.
It
Sounds
doesn't
good.
come with honeybee stings to the Johnson, does it?
Uncle Greg, what's up, Uncle Greg?
So
Thanks for joining, brother. We're talking about getting ticks and bee stings on your dick and your nutsack.
Ah, there we have it. Yeah, right.
So the bee farm I work for is Swarm Busted Honey. Dude, I'll tell you what, they make a fantastic garlic honey or hot garlic.
Hey, Uncle Greg says thumbs up.
He knows. But dude, I'll tell you what, you guys, you put that on your fish right as before it's done doing.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good. A garlic honey, that's pretty different.
Yeah, so what they do is they put it in a dehydrator and they blend it in with their honey, and dude, perfect. Everything. It's a perfect and
I've never even heard of that. I definitely want to try that.
yeah, I got you. I'll get with you, Chad. I'll get you guys some stuff
Let's go.
for sure.
Let's go. I'm down with it.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I put that shit on everything. It's like Frank's Red Hot.
It's like that Frank's hot sauce.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Word. Well, we're getting to the 9:20 part of our show. Tenny's not here just yet, so we're not going to shut it off, but we're going to get ready to shut down for the night, brother.
I got you. I'm gonna hop off and see the end of your show.
Appreciate you,
Thanks for
man.
joining
Thank
us,
you
man.
for joining Bass and Beer Radio.
Yep.
Talk to you soon.
Peace out.
Wow. We might get where Patrick's talking about giving us some garlic honey, which does sound
It does sound good.
phenomenal.
I do like a nice honey garlic chicken.
Hello,
would go
Jackie.
really
How you
well.
doing? Thanks
That
for
would-
joining Bass and Beer Radio for
That
the
would go
evening.
really well with the hot sauces that I've been making. Dude, I made a hot sauce that's so hot.
You make hot sauces that aren't eatable.
I was about to say I just finished up a blend that's actually inedible.
So, guys, to go over everything, we talked about Glidebaits tonight.
And nutsack, but bee stings.
We talked about Glidebaits on the beginner level. We recommended some good Glidebaits to you. We went through some of the differences between ABS and resin pour Glidebaits. What we recommend, different ways to tune the Glidebaits, different ways to fish them, how they are not only fish catchers, but they are tools to identify fish on your lake or your body of water. And after we got through that, we started talking about Rob getting the catheter 30 times and people's nutsack surgery for their ticks. And that's just the way Bass and Beer Radio goes, and I'm not upset about that.
It does happen.
We do need to get Matt to come on sometime. Definitely want to check out some of Matt's builds. Matt Downs with Trick Tins. If you guys haven't checked out Trick Tins on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, check out Trick Tins. He's got some of the sickest boats on the market that why am I brain farting on? He fabricates these boats into just being works of art.
And not only that, he's got so many things available for the person that's building a John boat.
Build a John boat. You can buy lids from Matt. You can buy so many things from Matt that are built so well.
Matt said he'll pass on the Wiener episode.
It happens.
I'm totally fine with that because it doesn't happen all the time with us, but sometimes it just goes that direction. But anyways, we're at 9:20. We're going to pop out for the night. Thank you guys for joining.